Hey guys, what's up? It's Sisant here with another exhaustive video on a simple process. So today we're going to be gluing one piece of leather to another. I've always maintained that if you know how to attach one bit of material to another, you can basically make whatever you want. Obviously there's a bit more nuance that goes into it than that, but with simple geometric shapes, it's certainly not far from the truth. So, this video on gluing and the next one on stitching, tease, will be showing you some of the simple ways that you can stick one bit of leather to another. These are techniques that I use literally every single time that I work with leather and just require a bit of practice to get comfortable with. So, glue. We use it to glue things, but what kind of glue do we use? I'll be using some purpose-made leathercrafting cement, but if that's hard for you to get, don't worry. Basically, anything that's billed as a contact cement can be used for our purposes. I've personally used contact cement from Woolies before, and it's turned out just fine. They all have a similar function. Contact cement basically wants two surfaces that are clean and rough to bind together. The roughness is important for reasons that I'll explain with a helpful diagram. Suppose that you have a perfectly flat surface because you are a physicist that exists in a frictionless vacuum. You only have this amount of surface area to stick the two things together. A way that we can cheat this is by scoring, marking, or just roughing a surface up. And so you can see we've now increased the total amount of surface area available on any given surface. And more surface area means that there's more space for the glue to actually bind the two things together. So then for leather, if you're gluing the top side to something, just go over it with a scratch awl like this to rough it up. You don't want any dust or particulate in there, so it's a good idea to wipe it down or give it the Nintendo Reboot special. There are basically only three ways that you can glue one piece of leather to another. That is top side to top side, reverse to reverse, or top side to reverse. These two different sides have plenty of names that you'll just need to pick up through context. Sorry about that. Examples of when you might want to glue top side to top side are when you're making something inside out that needs to be turned, when you're doing a French seam with a backing, or when you want to strengthen a single seam. You might end up gluing top side to reverse if you're adding layers for bulk or strength, doing a lapped seam, or you're putting some decorative trim onto an edge. Whereas you'd glue reverse to reverse for things that you don't want to have a front side, like these coasters, or this costrol that I'm going to use for demonstration purposes. When you're working with the reverse side, or flesh side, or suede side, you often don't need to do much roughing up, but it is good to ensure that there are no loose fibers that will only gum up the works. These fibers here are fairly tightly packed, so I'll just run an awl over them briefly, but this isn't totally necessary. Now, for the actual content of this video, applying glue to leather. I like to run a bead over the area that I would like to stick and then spread it out, usually with a piece of scrap leather because it's plentiful in supply. Now, contact cement is going to want an application on both pieces that are to be attached, so make sure to spread evenly on both pieces. The next step is always the most difficult: waiting. You want the glue to have a little time exposed to air, between 30 and 90 seconds typically, but it's hard to be prescriptive with this because what we're looking for is actually conditional. We want the glue to stop being a liquid that is sticky and become more like a gum that is tacky. I understand that the difference between sticky and tacky is not wholly empirical, and I really can't emphasize enough the importance of familiarity. Yes, it surely does breed contempt in some cases, but you'll find that the more often you do something and the more familiar you become with that something, the more that you'll be able to differentiate between nebulous quantities of that something as provided by a voiceover on a YouTube video. So once the glue is tacky, just align the pieces and apply a little bit of pressure. Each glue will have a cure time that's written on the bottle, but after 20 minutes it should be well and truly stuck. If you're gluing a couple of flat pieces like me here, just put them on a flat table under a heavy book. Ah, how fitting. You shouldn't have to keep it under much pressure for long. And that's it. Now you've got two pieces of leather that are firmly stuck together and you're wondering what else can be done with them. If that's the case, then you'd better subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss the next video in this tutorial installment where I'll be talking about stitching and maybe even a little bit about what can be done about these ugly edges. I really hope that you guys enjoyed watching. You guys take it easy and I'll catch you later. You guys take it easy. Take it easy. There we go. Take it easy. Seriously. Too wet? Not wet enough? Whoops. That's better.